It's been a week living here in Jeju. I actually filmed the journey here but kept it on the back burner because I was afraid to share it. Afraid it wouldn't be good enough or that it wouldn't matter. But then I reminded myself of something I deeply believe in, to at least try to take a shot at the things we've been thinking about. Because really, what's the worst that could happen? Earlier this year, I released this video sharing a little more about my upbringing, family dynamics, and how that shaped the way I see money and life. I also open up about why I often choose to travel solo and the kind of peace it gives me. So I thought, why not continue from there? This is part 2 of my story, a deeper look into the journey that's brought me to where I am today. Not just the milestones, but the messiness too. Because behind the numbers, the Notion dashboards, and all the financial content, there's just a regular girl trying to figure things out one step at a time. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Let's go to Korea. Uncle, Terminal 3, please.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling.
I'm currently on my way to Jeju to visit the auntie and uncle I first met in 2022 when I did a 1-month solo stay on the island, and since then, they've become really dear to my heart. Before I spend 5 days with them, I'm taking a bit of time to just be on my own. Also, this trip's a bit of a milestone. It's my first time flying business class from Singapore to Seoul on Singapore Airlines, followed by a domestic flight on T-Way to get to Jeju. I redeemed it using the Max miles I've earned on HeyMax, transferred them to Air Canada, and ended up paying just about 109 Canadian dollars. I'll pop the SGD equivalent here on screen. I'm documenting the full experience in another video, which is probably already live on the channel by the time you're watching this. I'll link it up above and down in the description box below. Quick update on my spine injury from last October. I'm honestly doing so much better now. I started brisk walking almost daily, and since June, I've been going for private Pilates classes to work on my posture and build strength. Each session costs $95, which is a bit of a pinch, but after feeling the difference, I can confidently say it's money well spent. I had a little bit of a scare earlier this week when my back started feeling like it did in October last year, just before my flight. Immediately, I popped a muscle relaxant and thankfully woke up the next day just feeling slightly achy. Thank you so much for all your well wishes and patience while I've been healing. I'm really close to feeling like myself again. Anyway, picking up from where we left off, I'm not particularly sure of the root cause, but I grew up being someone who constantly tried to please others, even if it came at the expense of myself. With close friends, I give my all. I go out of my way thinking as long as they're happy, that's enough for me. And well, you can probably guess how that played out. But what really broke me was when someone I deeply valued, someone I trusted, betrayed that trust. At the same time, my family was moving and things at home were heavy. This all happened between 2018 to 2019. Everything felt intense and unrelenting. Uni unofficially ended after exams in August 2018, graduation was in 2019, and while everyone else was job hunting and getting their careers started, I was in an emotional mess. I took a gap year, stopped all my part-time jobs, and spent most days sleeping. I remember thinking, I'm just so tired of living. Can it all just stop? I barely left my room, I didn't eat. My weight dropped to 49 kilograms and I was skin and bones. And I'm 169 cm by the way. There's more to the story, but it was one hell of a journey. Doctor visits, medicines, and more. But things started to shift when I decided to just take my solo trip to Korea, and I think it was October 2019 because I remember spending my birthday solo in Jeju. I'll never forget that moment, sitting alone on the Silk Air flight and feeling peace for the first time in a really long time. It was quiet, and I think that's what got me addicted to solo traveling. I journaled every single day during that trip. It became my way of coping mentally and emotionally. No one was knocking on my door, unloading their problems onto me. No one needed me to listen, fix, or hold space for them. And for the first time, I could finally hear what my own heart had been trying to say all along. You're tired of always trying to be there for everyone else. Can you listen to yourself now? I love my family and I do anything for them truly. But I'm learning that love doesn't mean abandoning myself in the process. It's about finding that delicate balance between showing up for the people I care about and also showing up for myself. And honestly, it's something I'm still working on today. That solo trip to Korea gave me the space I needed to breathe and to start thinking about what's next. When it comes to friendships, I became more careful about who I let into my life. I started choosing me, prioritizing my peace, my time, and my boundaries. And honestly, as you grow older, your circle naturally gets smaller, but it also gets a lot more meaningful. Some of you ask, how is it possible I only budget $50 for meals out with friends? This explains, I guess. I have a handful of friends I value, but we don't meet every other week. And it's this kind of friendships that I love because even though it might have been months since we last saw each other, we pick up right where we left off the last time. As for my career, I remembered how much I enjoyed a contract role I did in internal audit, so I began looking for full-time opportunities in that space. And by March 2020, I got an offer. I officially started a role in April, just days before Singapore went into full lockdown and all of us began working from home. Who knew that one solo trip would end up defining so much of how I live and see the world today? A lot of you have asked me, how are you so independent? Don't you ever feel lonely? And I guess, yes, there are moments when I wish I had someone to share a beautiful view with or to laugh with in real time. But majority of the time, I feel contented, peaceful, and genuinely happy on my own. I've learned to love myself first, and that's how I know if the right person ever comes along, I'll be ready to love and welcome them into my life. But if not, I'll be okay too. Being here on my own in this beautiful home in Jeju, I get to stay in my routine, waking up at 5 a.m, enjoying a quiet cup of coffee with breakfast, taking a walk, and then easing into the day doing work that I genuinely love. Of course, the Demi you see today still struggles with things. Life is far from perfect, but I think I'm in a much better place than I was 6 years ago, and that's enough for me right now. So that's a little more of my story. In the next episode, I'll take you through the journey of how all of this, everything I've been through, eventually led me to start this YouTube channel. I never imagined that a solo trip or the hard seasons I went through would lead me here to this version of myself, still healing, still learning, but a lot more grounded than before. If there's anything I've learned over the years, it's that you don't need to have everything figured out to take the next step. Sometimes, all you need is a pause, a little courage, and to trust that you'll grow through what you go through. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for allowing me to share my journey with you. I hope this reminds you that it's okay to take your time, to protect your peace, and to live life on your own terms, at your own pace. I'll see you guys in my next video.